There has been some speculation by Below Natural on Twitter that they may be reanimating Tower Defense Simulator to go from R15 animations to R6. Now, I assume that this is not in reference to towers, which may have R15 rigs, but to players which have R15 right now, but they were converted from R6 in 2020. Again, it's really weird that Below Natural is speculating on whether Tower Defense Simulator should go back to R5 animation, since I think the whole reason why the game converted over from R6 to R15 was to have more expressive emotes. But very clearly, Below Natural doesn't see the benefits of using R15 and wants to, and prefers actually, R6 emotes. This may be influenced by the fact that in Alter Ego, they do use the R6 rig rather than the R15 rig, and given that emotes in Tower Defense Simulator don't really take up a lot of, I guess, headspace for the game, maybe using R6 emotes means that they can combine the resources of the Alter Ego department and the Tower Defense Simulator department, and also save a lot of time, because I think R15 is slightly more complicated to rig rather than R6. But again, trying to convert all of the R15 animations in Tower Defense Simulator to R6 is going to be time consuming, and in Below Natural's case, he says that all the plugins he's seen do a really weird job at arm/leg tracking. Further to this, Below Natural says that it would almost be impossible for us to remake all the game emotes by hand, not enough people or time, very clearly indicating that he wants to do the R15 to R6 transition in Tower Defense Simulator for whatever reason, and I think it's very likely to do with the game emotes taking a while to animate in the R15 rig. In fact, he actually outright confirms it here. I'm looking at moving Tower Defense Simulator back to R6, all the way back in 2020, he did the opposite way, R15 to R6, due to the R15 animations taking more than double the time to make emotes. Honestly, I'm starting to regret the move to R15 since the workload slowed down the number of modes we can make for the game, which is true. Since 2020, when Tower Defense Simulator was added, I don't think there's been like 2 evergreen emotes that they've made to Tower Defense Simulator, namely Hotline and Radical. I guess you could also consider Praisen to be a new emote as well, which is fair enough. But for all of the event modes that the developers have added, yes, it's taken double the amount of time since these were first added compared to if they were added R6 emotes. So I guess with the conversion back to R6 emotes in Tower Defense Simulator, the developers would have more time to make more emotes, and perhaps they could be more evergreen emotes. Although with that being said, we haven't seen a whole influx of new evergreen name tags as well. Although with that being said, I think we do see more name tags in, say, the event battle pass compared to the amount of emotes that we get, because as Below Natural says, they take up a lot of time. They take double the time to make R15 emotes than R6, and the workload slowed down. Some people have also speculated that this could potentially mean some R6 emotes could be re-added. Not Fave. Fave is a contentious issue to re-add, but namely Parrot Party. This was apparently a very hard emote to actually convert over into R15. So should it be re-added for R6? Perhaps, because I do think that maybe there is some code in Tower Defense Simulator which, especially in 2024, saying Parrot Party appears in the emote wheel but cannot be used. That's if you owned Parrot Party in 2019. So there is some potential for Parrot Party to be re-added if the game was to convert back to R6, but we don't know that. And I think the main issue here comes from all of the emotes that have been added since 2020. Most of the evergreen emotes, they do have, I believe, R6 emotes, which I guess Tower Defense Simulator could reuse. There are some old versions of Tower Defense Simulator knocking about, which Below Natural could potentially reuse. But when it comes to all of the other emotes, so that's like Coffin, Demon Swing, Firework and Lazy Couch, they do have R6 versions. But when it comes to every other event emote, this will take quite a while to convert over into R6. It's not a lot, actually, thinking about it. It's only like most of the event emotes and then 1 or 2, well, 3 evergreen emotes. So perhaps not as much as you might think, but still quite a task for Tower Defense Simulator to do. Oh, and Charleston, I think, does it have? It didn't have a R6 emote, so actually, yes, this was also added in 2023. To be fair, I did forget that many of these emotes did have an R6 animation. So, for example, Thriller, I forgot that it even was part of the game, but before the R15 transition, I just always thought that it was R15, which, yeah, fair enough. Now, on Discord, Below Natural has also been speculating quite a lot. So, when it comes to the skin duping, Below Natural saying that, well, so in response to someone saying that maybe instead of giving a ton of shit ton of premium crates, they can drop the greedy thing and give deluxe crates instead. But Below Natural has now speculated that currents / a plethora of new skins will be split into many crates to make it easier to get the skin that you want. So it looks like there may be a reordering of some deluxe crates skins, but also premium crate skins between the crates. There'll be a new currency that will be earned through login rewards, map completions, and achievements. That way, free-to-play players will have a way to buy crates without ROBUX. So that will be speculated. That's the deluxe crate, and that's the phantom crate so far. We'll be giving away more premium crates and deluxe crates since you'll be able to open as many as you want, because currently right now the methods of getting deluxe crates is limited. But if the developers were to add duplicate crates to Tower Defense Simulator, they'll have to give out more premium and deluxe crates, and it's a pretty big win for everyone. Someone also asked if they could have a code for a deluxe crate as compensation for 3 months of postponing for the Tesla Tower, but Below Natural said that he's not going to do that because they already had a code for the Tesla Tower being delayed. And then finally, Below Natural said that very soon we are collaborating with a game. Many people speculate that this could be Arsenal. I am here to say that Arsenal, it's probably not them. It's been over 5 years since the Arsenal x TDS collaboration was first speculated, and I don't think it's going to be them after these 5 years. We've not heard anything from Arsenal, by the way, so why would it be Arsenal? I'd eat my hat if it's true, if it is Arsenal. And you know what, fair enough if it is Arsenal, but I don't think the football club wants anything to do with Tower Defense Simulator. I mean, like, come on, they're first in the Premier League. I don't think they need the support that Tower Defense Simulator gives to Arsenal, or well, gives to potentially the football club, to get them to winning the Premier League. I think they could have a chance of winning the Premier League this year, but we'll see. Now, there's also some speculation from Outer Bears saying that he's currently rewriting the notification UI right now, so it's not going to be a simple text which appears in Tower Defense Simulator. So that's some new UI stuff that's been announced. Outer Bears also mentions that there's going to be a Battle Pass button on the top right for mobile, because I think the current one is slightly inaccessible and is slightly small for those on mobile. Someone about gift claims saying that he'll probably will add one of those numbers to it and it will make it red, which is fair enough. I don't think you get a notification in the gift claims now to show that you have something in there. But Outer Bears says that they are aware of unit collision codes, or people being able to collide with units, saying that the code for that is kind of jank. I don't know what he could do about it, I can't lie. But then he says that they have added initial cooldowns to certain abilities to counter spam. So that, I think, maybe in reference to, say, the Mercenary base. So, for example, if you just place down the Mercenary base and then you were to completely... what a tactic people would do was they would place down a Mercenary base, have all 3 units be riot guards, and then use the airdrop ability to spawn in multiple riot guards. However, with this Outer Bears saying that they'll add initial cooldowns to certain abilities to counter spam, it looks like that method or that strategy that some people use is going to be removed from Tower Defense Simulator. Someone asked if the name tags could be shown in the leaderboard. Outer Bears said no, they were disabled for a reason. It caused a lot of lag. I mean, Outer Bears does say that it was disabled for performance issues, which is fair enough. And then someone asked, can they bring the UI to bring back to see every ability? I can't no brain my call to arms anymore. And then Outer Bears were to say that that is performance issues, so that is no longer going to be the case, which is fair enough. Having the abilities stack up, if you have like 20 of those in a line rather than just having simple numbers saying how many is active or can be activated, could easily be seen as performance issues in Tower Defense Simulator. So fair enough why the developers changed that over for performance issues. Someone also asked about, have you forgotten about PvP and the seasons? Outer Bears says no, it's in the roadmap. And then Outer Bears finally shows off a screenshot, interestingly, of the enemies, or well, actually the towers, the Elf Camp towers, which some people have speculated to be an Elf Camp rework in Tower Defense Simulator, but also the Night 2 map from the Hexscape event, because, interestingly enough, in case you didn't know, the developers are planning to re-add every event from the Hexscape event all the way to the Null and Void event and likely the Winter 2025 event into Tower Defense Simulator. I speculate that this is going to be part of the story mode which Dave talked about. I can't confirm that, but it does look likely that with this screenshot they are testing re-adding Night 2, namely the Hexscape from Night 2, the Hexscape event, to Tower Defense Simulator, and with the Elf Camp being shown off, people are speculating that there could be an Elf Camp rework. Also, I just realised that the Corrupting server is going to be re-added as a logbook because it appears in Night 3 of the Hexscape event. But interestingly enough, the mechanical rot won't return because it doesn't appear in the Hexscape event, but also the imposter won't return because it's not really part of an event either. So those are probably going to be still the rarest 2 logbooks in Tower Defense Simulator. Also, additionally, some people have actually started changing over the R15 emotes back into R6. So, you know, below natural, if you're suffering from not being able to do this, I think there is like a team of volunteers that would be able to help you out in the case of that. So as you can see, I think this is Charleston, which someone has reanimated from R15 to R6. Now, actually, quite recently, the developers have moved the Tesla Tower card from Q4 of 2025 into Q1 of 2026. The developers did say that they were going to delay it until like sometime after November. They have now also removed the label which says that the Tesla Tower is, I think, running behind, yes, or delayed. I think they said running behind, so they've moved it to Q1 of 2026, and they've now said it's planned rather than on track. So it does look like the developers have now fixed the issue. Well, not really fixed the issue, but they fixed the roadmap to which included the Tesla Tower as part of Q4 2025, and does ultimately confirm that the very earliest that the Tesla Tower is coming out from the from the looks of things, sorry, is Q1 of 2026, which is January 2026. Additionally, when it comes to the Trello board, I've also seen some people suggest that the earliest that a tower rework could be, so for example, like the Cowboy, is like 2027, Q1 of 2027, because it's not listed here. Again, that's not the case. This is probably just the major stuff that the developers have planned for the public roadmap. I don't think the developers are going to include every single thing as part of an update in this roadmap, which includes tower reworks. Unless the developers have confirmed it like a week before, I don't think they're going to add it outright. I certainly don't think they've planned well in advance of what towers are going to rework in Q2 of 2026. I only know that's a concern because on my previous video about this Trello board, many people have suggested that because the tower reworks for like the Elf Camp, for example, aren't being listed here, or like the Gladiator rework, which the Below Natural has confirmed is going to be the case, because it's not listed on the Trello board, many people think that it's cancelled or it's been delayed until 2027. Definitely not the case. The Gladiator rework I do expect to be released sometime in 2026. If I did have to guess, it'll probably be Q2 of 2026, given the fact that everything here is suggested to be planned rather than on track. If it's said to be on track, I think the developers are actively working on it, whereas if it says planned, I think the developers have something in mind for it, hence the roadmap, but it's not being currently worked on at the moment, which may be the case for the Tesla Tower, given the fact that it says it's planned, but it's not been said that it's on track. So I think the developers have slightly delayed the development of this until next year. Oh, and finally, the last bit of news when it comes to updates is that Tower Defense Simulator is now hiring again for a software engineer for content. So the Paradoxum Games team is looking for programmers to help with content, towers, enemies, and events. So if you're interested in joining the Tower Defense Simulator project, send in your resume. So it looks like the developers aren't hiring anyone for Alter Ego as they may have done in the past, but they are now hiring for Tower Defense Simulator explicitly this time rather than, I don't know, an upcoming project. So yeah, the compensation for this, well, I guess they should really say out salary, $70,000 to $80,000 a year, which I think is slightly above the mean average for America, which is where you need to be working for this, and you can only be 18 plus to do this, and based in the United States. Again, many people gawk at the fact that the developers are able to actually pay players in Tower Defense Simulator, or pay their developers quite a bit of money, but I think this is pretty average when it comes to high-end Roblox games, which, given the fact that Tower Defense Simulator is like one of the top games, I think it's the top one within the top 50 in Roblox, it makes sense. But also, I've also noticed that they've actually updated their website, paradoxum.gg, so they now say on the since November 15th, so they've updated this 5 days ago, that they now have 4.3 billion sessions, 3 million monthly active users, and 180 peak CCU. That was for the recent live event that they did. But also at the bottom, they have now released Alter Ego with this logo. So alpha test release 2025, an unknown entity known as the Ego has trapped souls inside its domain. At the labyrinth, you and your team must complete objectives and escape before losing yourself to Ego death. Will you face your sins and save the soul? They have now updated this part of their website. And I guess I should also briefly mention Alter Ego. They are now working on it quite substantially. They now have like an animation to show when your health goes down, shaking your character here. There's also going to be a new release for a character, Toothy, coming out on the 21st of November, like within 24 hours of this video going live, and a new hack minigame to spice things up, given the fact that there are only 2 minigames currently in Alter Ego, which is okay, pretty cool, but I don't think I'll cover this too extensively until the game's fully released.